And yeah, it's been 6 years since I did one of these Christmas Eve unboxings. Back then, I was just getting started in the world of video production, and I had bought a cinema camera, and it was just so exciting. Well, over the past 6 years, I've been doing what I would call a horse and buggy move to where it is I want to be. In part of my world, I'm a coach. And you know where the word coach comes from? It was the vehicle that used to use the aristocracy from where they are to where it is they wanted to go. And I've been doing the horse and buggy, so a little bit faster than the pharaoh sitting, in his thing and people carrying him on their shoulder and that kind of thing. So moving a little bit faster. But then there's other times, we have cars, we have airplanes, we have rocket ships. We might even have a flux capacitor hidden somewhere. And that's what we do. Well, I want to talk about my journey with audio. Audio's always been my bugaboo. And here's some of let's get out some of the stuff that we had. When I started back then, that same kind of thing, that same time, I bought a Rode news shooter kit. So it was my way of getting wireless audio into what it was. And I had a stick mic, and I thought I was going to be doing a lot of news work. So this seemed like a better one than the filmmaker kit, which didn't have this big thing. So this big thing sits on the bottom of a mic, and then this is the receiver. So I felt like that was a good solution, but didn't do a lot of news. I thought that was going to be my niche, and it wasn't. So then I upgraded. And what did I do? Well, I got a Zoom H5, and that was the next piece of tech. It was pretty good. It brought in multiple XLR mics, and I had gain control and things. I could bring it into my video production, because my video production, right from that point on, I bought a high-end gaming laptop, and I was doing all of my live streaming stuff through vMix. And so this worked really well, except I figured out that I couldn't do some of the things that I wanted to do, like do a mix minus. And so I moved from there to the big boy. Yep, this was the next step in the journey. It was Allen and Heath Z24. So I had physical faders, I had 3-band EQ, so low, mid, and high, and I had some aux sends so I could do my mix minus, and it was a pretty good solution. If you look, it even has Dewey and white chair and producer and triangle table guest and host and multiple guests, and so this was a good solution, but it's analog, and analog kind of seen its day. Let's just leave it at that. And I felt like this was too much to be taking on the road with me, and I was doing a lot of stuff on the road, and I was doing a lot of stuff that wasn't necessarily live streaming and studio environment. So I got out of that. And once I got out of it, I didn't go back to it a ton. And so I went to this, the Zoom MixPre3. And it was pretty good. It had 3 XLR inputs, and I never needed more than that for the things that I was recording with it. And it had some knobs. And as I brought this one in as a USB interface, it worked pretty well. The switcher would see it as 3 separate inputs, so it was like bringing 3 separate mics in, and with it being vMix, that was good. I could do everything I needed to do was setting different levels for different people, if they were a little louder or a little softer, and I could do all of that within software, and that was really good. But then I started thinking about studio again. right? And me being me, I don't like horse and buggies a lot. So I oftentimes want to jump on an airplane or do something that happens really fast when I kind of microwaving it. So in addition to the MixPre3, I went out and I bought this. Well, what is this? It is a Focusrite Claret 8 Pre. And so it's an audio interface where I had pretty good, once I hooked it up to the computer and I could work through the matrix and figure out where was coming where, and vMix really liked it and it sounded really good. But then I realized that I was doing something in vMix that, well, let's back up a second. Recently, I've decided that in addition to vMix, and I love vMix, probably never going to fully move away from it, but I wanted to do some things that were more hardware-based. And so I bought several Blackmagic products, so an ATEM Constellation 2ME and an ATEM Mini Pro. And so, I was looking for something else. And realizing that once I went to hardware, I no longer had what I had always counted on from vMix. And that was the ability to set audio delays to make sure that my lips were matched up with the sound. And I didn't know what to do. So I researched and I researched and I researched, and I came up with a solution. And I figured at the same time, I wanted to bring on something that might be somewhat feature-proof or future-proof. That's the word I'm looking for, future-proof. And knowing that, well, I'm still just playing around. So all of these things I would refer to, if these were cars, these were all kind of within the Chevrolet family of cars. Although me, I guess my first SUV was a Kia Sorento, and it was cool because of the size, but it kind of rode kind of rough and didn't have the bells and whistles of something else. And recently, I guess about a year and a half ago, I went out and I bought an Audi Q5. And I thought, well, okay, do I need an Audi Q5? No. Do I need what I gave myself and EKH Media and Snake Productions for Christmas this year? I probably didn't need it either. But here it is. Hold on. It's awfully big. So, here it is. Whew. I haven't even opened it yet. I didn't do a very good job of saving the paper this year. Not quite sure if you can see it, but it is a Behringer x32 compact. Yep, it's a digital mixer. So this is my Audi. Wow, this is going to take some work. Pretty cool, eh? And it is certainly But there it is. What's really neat about this is, with the bigger events and things, let's see what else is in. Have some instructions. Whew, big old manual. And a bag, I guess, to keep the dust from getting on it, and a power cord. Let's see if I can find a way to get it. Whew. That was a whole bunch of work. Well, why do I like this? Well, what's not to like? While it is not the greatest sounding board, it is a good quality board. It will certainly be something I grow into over the next year as I dig into doing more events at a higher level. Talk about some of the stuff here in just a second, as soon as I can get at it. You can tell I'm not real good at unboxings, but I don't have to be, because that's not what this channel's gonna be. Okay, so as we look at the top of it, it is something, it has 8 channels of inputs and 8 channels of outputs, and then a main. But, you know, you say, so, well, it's a 32 channel mixer. Well, over here, because it's a compact, right? So it's not the full 32. It's not quite as big, a little more manageable, though still pretty significant. If I click this button, that's the first 8 inputs. There's inputs 9 through 16. And then, well, this on the back only has I/O for 16 inputs. So how am I going to get that? It has 8 out. But so what am I going to do? Well, I decided to up what I was doing, because we are doing more events and more things that we might have speakers on stage and things like that. I decided to also invest in this, which is a way to bring in 16 more. So this is what is commonly referred to as a stage box. And so this would go up on stage near the talent as a way to bring their multiple microphones and things like that in, and then run this one cable from this box into the back of the other. So I think it's going to be a good solution. That's it on the X32 Compact, and there will be a lot more information on this channel as I continue to horse and buggy my way through it. And there's going to be another whole side thing where, just like when I was moving into cameras in the very beginning and I was looking for my point and shoot because, oh my goodness, it was so overwhelming, I'm looking for some things that are going to make all of what I'm doing now production-wise obsolete. And so look forward to that on this channel as well. I want to thank Sweetwater for everything they did. This is the first purchase that I've made through Sweetwater. It's also the first time that I've ever had a personal consultant to work with. So now working with Sweetwater on sound, I have someone to reach out to all the time, which is really great. When this box came and it had a few dings and stuff in it, he immediately said, just let me know if it's damaged on the inside and we will replace it right away. And so the process was really smooth having that person, something I've not experienced with any other company. So thank you to Sweetwater. And you know, this channel's brand new. So I think I have 2 subscribers or 3 subscribers. And if I subscribe with my other channels, then maybe I'll have like 7 subscribers. Going to try and grow it, going to try and share information, because information is, well, it's power. And gotta love power. Join me in my journey. This is not always about, you know, just being right at the beginning. It's going from already have begun to now kind of upgrading along the path, as I'm calling it, the horse and buggy, moving from where I am to where it is I want to go. Thanks a lot. We'll see you soon. Peace.